Hello, I'm Lee Butler, and today I'm here to tell you a little bit about sleep safety. Now, I think we all can sleep safely in our own beds at night, but we're all adults, and as adults we don't think much about what we don't think much about, but with children, we've always got to be thinking about their safety. So how does safety apply to sleeping at nap time at school with all of you fine teachers out there? Well, let's first start with the infants and the toddlers. Starting with the infants, we have to look at the crib. What makes a crib safe? Well, all you need in a crib to keep it safe is a nice, firmly fitted sheet. We don't need any blankets. We don't need any pacifier straps attached to their clothing. We don't need any bumpers. And we don't need any toys in there, just the baby on a firmly fitted sheet. Well, you're saying, what about that baby? That baby might be cold in there, might need something to keep them a little snug and warm, especially when the temperatures start to go down in the fall and the winter time. Well, that's why we have swaddles. We have sleep sacks. Both of those things are perfectly appropriate. And by the way, the child will still be in their clothes, although I want to say one thing. Hooded sweatshirts, they go up around their faces. Let's not have those on while we're sleeping. Just a regular outfit, a swaddle, and a sleep sack should do the trick just fine. Let's also talk about keeping a nice, cool environment during sleep. We all don't like it when it's too hot at nighttime, and those babies don't like it either. Keep it nice and cool in there. Look at your thermostat. If you're hot, I bet they're hot too. Now, I mentioned not having a strap for a pacifier attached to the child's clothing while they're in their crib, but that doesn't mean they can't have their passy. Just the passy has to be all by itself, in their mouth, and if it pops out to the side of them, it's not going to suffocate them because there's no other pieces of fabric or anything that could hurt them. And if there's one most important thing about that baby in that crib, it's to always have them on their back to sleep. Back only. Back is best. Back is how we're going to sleep at school. Now, when that baby wakes up and it starts to cry, well, we have to go to that baby, don't we? Go see it, go pick it up, get it out of that sleep sack, change its diaper, get it cozy, play some games. If it's time to eat, get a little bottle going. And remember, that baby, even if it falls asleep out in the classroom, it can't stay asleep on the floor. It can't be in any boppy seats. Can't be in any swings, although you shouldn't have any of those in your classrooms anyway. But regardless, they can't be in them to sleep. And even on that cozy couch you have in your classroom sometimes, the baby can't sleep on it. If the baby falls asleep, I know it's tempting just to leave him there so peacefully. The only safe way for that baby to sleep while at school is in their crib. Oh, and one more side note. Not really my favorite part of this training, but no pets in the crib, please. Now let's talk about the toddlers and your older children. First with the toddlers. Now, a toddler could be on a cot as early as 12 months, but in order to do that, you have to have a note from that child's parent. Actually, it's a form that they'll sign off giving you permission to put their 12-month-old on a cot in the classroom. Other than that, the earliest a child can be on a cot in your room is 18 months, so keep that in mind. We all know that our preschool children are all on cots, so we really need to think about what we need on those cots in the room each and every day. Well, what do they need then? Of course, you need the cot. We have those. They can bring with them a small blanket, small pillow, also a nice one stuffed animal that they can bring with them to school and snuggle with at nap time. That's all they need. I know that there are other devices out there to help keep kids snugly and cozy like weighted blankets, but we can't use those unless we have specifically been told to do so by a doctor or a parent, and that will also have a form that will need signed beforehand. No form, no weighted blanket. Only the blankets that we normally have in the classrooms. Soft, cozy, lightweight, snuggly. Can be moved when they need to be moved by the child. You know, it's also really important to know what the child likes when they're getting to sleep too. Some children like to have their backs pat. Some like to have their hair rubbed. Some like to have their cot bounced. Some like to just be left alone. Vitally important to know your kids, know their preferences, and stick to those preferences when trying to get them to sleep. Also, as a teacher, it's important that you have a cot chart in your classroom so everybody that comes in knows which cot goes where in the classroom and who it belongs to. And the way they know who the cot belongs to is, well, label the cots. Put the child's first name on each cot so that when the teacher comes in there that maybe doesn't know your classroom, they know whose cot belongs to who, where that cot goes. That way every day won't be so confusing and nobody will be sleeping on the wrong cot. Now, if things change in the classroom and you decide to move a cot, it does happen all the time. You also have to go to your cot chart and make sure that you're changing the chart too. Otherwise, somebody will come in on a day you can't be at work and they'll put that child's cot in the place you last had it on the chart and it won't be the right spot, which is very distressing to a young person. I'll finish this section with what I think is the most important part too. No child is required to sleep at school. We can't make them sleep, nor should that be our focus and goal. They do have to rest at nap time per licensing and they do need to be on their cot. So that's where we're going to get creative as teachers. Stick around for a little while today and lots of these fine people you see around you will have some great ideas for you to give the children that don't need to sleep at nap time but do need quiet activities to stay on their cot with. I want to thank you very much for joining me for this informative time we've had together. Again, I'm Lee Butler and I'll see you the next time around. Bye-bye now.